I just got a email last week from YouTube asking me, telling me I haven't posted very much lately. And because I haven't posted, that if I don't post in the next 30 days, that I will lose monetization and the whatnot. And I thought, they're right. This is our journey. Welcome to the Betancourts homestead. Last year I was thinking about coming back, and I was in the middle of doing this really big project to come back, and it was going to be epic. I was building a 300-foot stone, 4.5-foot tall wall. I mean, who could say anything? That was just going to be epic. And I was filming the video, the segments for it, and getting it all ready. And as I just figured I'd come on and I would tell you where I have been, because I don't think it's not what you think it is. You'll have to forgive me. I have what's called trauma brain, and I'm ADHD and OCD and all these things, and I'm just human. So last year I was building a wall, and I finished the wall, and I literally, for some reason, I felt like sun up to sundown is what I was supposed to be doing. And my friends were like crazy. They're like, Tabitha, take a break. You don't have to work this much. You can come to lunch with us. But I had told my family, my parents, that I was going to concentrate on this wall because I just had a feeling God was going to call me to do something. And I wanted to be available for that. And I felt like he was calling me to build the wall, sun up, sundown, every day, take a break on Sunday, come and see, go spend time with him. But he wanted me to build that wall and to finish. And building the wall meant I finished my property, which was just sounded amazing to me. Like 16 years in the making, I could finally finish this property. So I trouble staying focused. You'll know why. I focused on the wall and building the stairs and laying the concrete steps and backfilling it. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. My parents came out and they wanted to see it and they loved it. They thought it was just amazing. My parents live 2 miles from me, so it's not like it's a huge drive. But what you don't know is that for the last 16 years, the reason we moved here was so that we could be available if they ever needed us. And there were many times where they did need us. Like parents, as they get older, they don't want you to know everything that's going on, but they want to know that somebody is there that can answer the phone calls when they need the help. And we were that person that they called. It got to the point where I ended up quitting my job and retiring early because they needed a little bit more care, and I was always exhausted because the way the 911 place where I was working, the way they did their scheduling and how short-staffed they were, it was impossible for me to actually sleep and work and take care of them. So my husband and I had made the decision that I would retire early, which means I just walked away with a fraction portion of my retirement. And I would be here, we would move his parents up, and I would caregive for both of them. I would be available for all 4 of them if anything was ever needed. Mind you, this is my stepfather, but you only say step when you're talking organ donation. So 12 years ago, we walked his mom to heaven's doors. That was the most honorable thing that you can do, is to be there for a loved one at the very, during the end of their life. And his mother was amazing. She's absolutely, I miss her still to this day. She's just a sweet, sweet woman. Like, talk about somebody that loves God. That was her. And her middle name was Delight, and let me tell you, she was a delight. Everybody loved her. I got 10 months with her here in this area, and the reason she moved up was she wanted somebody to take care of her husband or to be here for her husband, so she moved us up. She knew she was dying, but she didn't tell anybody. So for 16 years, I was here for my mother and my stepdad. And it was needed. There were doctor's appointments, neurologists, memory care tests, middle of the night hospital runs. We live an hour and 10 minutes from the local hospital. There were medication changes and all kinds of stuff that, it wasn't every day. I could work it around what I did on the land, and I could work it around my building and the discovering and the testing and all the stuff and the, everything that I was teaching you guys. I could work everything around that. I just chose when I did that kind of stuff was when there wasn't an emergency going on. So last year I told my parents I'm going to concentrate really hard and I'm going to focus on finishing the land. If you need anything, call me. But for some reason, I just felt God wanted me to do that. And then 2 weeks, I finished it, and I started coming over to my parents' house, and I started doing the work for them that they needed, putting potting benches together and hanging, fixing stuff, and just spending time with them. Absolutely priceless memories that you can... I have no regrets. But I think you, as my followers, need to know where I have been. So last year I was working on building the walls and was preparing a video for you guys that maybe I'll release someday, maybe I won't. I have no clue. I'm trying to figure out where everything is. Like I forgot how to turn the light on next to my bed. You'll know why in a minute. Yes, this is not making sense. And for those of you that are leaving comments about you should just hold off and not say anything until you can, trauma brain is real and you don't know it until you're smack dab in it. So my mom had a freak accident 2 weeks after I finished the project. Like I was sitting at my house going, man, I'm bored. I called my mom. I said, Mom, you need to give me a project to do. I'm kind of bored here. And she says, oh, come on over. And I'm like, okay. And there was a lot to do. There still is a lot to do. But my mom had a freak accident. And I had a friend, her neighbor, call me and say, hey, there's a page out to your mom's house, your parents' house, and for a female fall victim. And I'm like, thank you. And I hung up the phone. I grabbed my dog, threw her in the car with my husband, and we drove here. I beat the ambulance, and when I walked in and saw my mom, she was in the garage. I'm walking up the driveway, and I see the scene, and as a first responder, you pretty much know when you see something, like, you know. Oh, I remember my husband, I looked at my mama, I held her head in my hands. I said, I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to see you. You're going to ride in the ambulance. I got you, and I won't leave you. I'm going to be there. My husband took me home so I could pick up the car and drop them off, and he took care of the dogs. He took care of everything, and I just went to the hospital. I beat her there. I don't know how I did that. Well, I do know. She lived for 5 days, and she passed away. My dad is a sweet man. He had Parkinson's with the side effect of dementia. Those two do not make a good combo. And it was very apparent because I knew the situation and I'd been here and I'm not, oblivious to it. I knew everything that was going on. Well, I knew 80% of what was going on. Let's just say parents like to hide things. It was very apparent very shortly after that he was going to need somebody living with him. And my husband and I, we talked about this before. So YouTube, I moved in and gave everything up to take care of my stepdad for the last remaining few months that he had, because he passed away 6 months ago. And then I was slammed into the middle of a attorneys and fighting and discoveries and holding her friends together and planning a memorial party and just trying to figure out life. they say for every day you're a caregiver, you need 1 day of recovery. That's pretty much true. That's pretty much true. I wanted to come on and tell you guys that I'm still here. I've been thinking a lot about the channel and what it's going to look like and who I am. I talked to a gentleman the other day. He knew, he'd heard about what I was going through, and he looked at me and he walks in the door, and he'd sent me a text message, and he said, "I just want you to know I'm a big burly man. I kind of scare people." And I'm like, "Well, I'm a former 911 dispatcher from a big city, so we'll be just fine because you won't scare me, and I can turn my big city girl on like that." And he just laughed, and he comes in and he looks at me and he goes, "How you doing it? I heard what happened in small town." And he goes, how you doing it?" He goes, "My wife and I almost got divorced over this." And I looked at him and I said, I'm doing okay. And I told him some of the things that I knew about caregiving, and he goes, "I don't even know who I am anymore." And I said, "Me neither. Join the club. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know anything except God loves me, and he would not be putting me through this unless he was going to be with me to see me through the end. So for that, I'm eternally grateful. I have the utmost assurance that whatever I'm walking through right now, God is literally with me, and he's not going to leave me nor forsake me. So I can walk every step knowing that he is by my side. That being, I have this feeling that I'm going to be okay, and that I'm not supposed to look to who I am, but who I'm going to become. And I'm going to take you guys along that journey with me. I don't know what it looks like. You guys, I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it's going to be like. I have no clue. But I have this strange feeling that it's going to be good. Like, it's going to be quirky and weird and good. And I was driving down, because I have another family member I check on quite often, and I was driving down. It was a several-hour drive, and I got this very big impression upon me that you're going to get that laughter back that you used to have when you danced in the backyard while you were hanging your laundry on the clothesline. You're going to be doing that again. And I don't know where it came from or why I thought that, but I haven't had that laughter and freeness for 17 years. So, YouTube, that's where I've been. I was building a wall to prepare for the fact that my parents were going to have tragic accidents, and then I took on the task of taking care of them and walking them both to heaven's doors. And, yeah, that's where I've been. So, now you know what I know. I want to say join me, because I really think it's going to be magnificent. I just can't tell you what it's going to look like. So there you go. Now you know what I know.